Happy EMS week from everyone here at the Overrun. Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester here for EMS One News and Insider Analysis. Danny, today we're going to tell the story of EMS week, where we have EMS leaders marking the start of National EMS Week 2025 with calls for recognition and unity for EMS. Right now, the theme for this year's EMS week is We Care for Everyone. And Danny, that is certainly what we're all trying to do here at EMS One and for us at the Overrun.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I love that idea. We care for everyone. I think we need to realize that we are truly there for everybody, no matter where you live, what kind of money you have, where we find you. We will take care of you. We will do what we can, and we'll do our best. And I think that celebrates the idea of EMS Week and the idea of EMS clinicians. The reality, Ed, is a little different.
Yeah, and there's a lot of work that we have to do both personally and professionally to keep building our industry and to keep caring for everyone. One of the things that's mentioned in this article that the EMS chiefs are looking for is we're looking for national recognition. Now, again, this is typically what happens every EMS week. There's a proclamation, happy EMS week for everybody. Right. What the EMS chiefs here are trying to do is they're trying to laser focus a little bit more on it's great to have recognition, but what we want to do is we want to have that put into actual practice.
Yeah, and they're 100% right. At this point, as it stands in the country, there's about 35 states that do not require EMS as an essential service. There are areas where EMS are not recognized as uniformed service members, and with that are allowed the privileges and the benefits of being a uniformed service member. And these things have to change if we're going to advance as a profession.
And it's something that we kind of have to accept, is that EMS is a service that is needed. I think that in a lot of healthcare, we tend to look at money, which is certainly, there's been plenty of stories we've done here on EMS One that's talked about how money has affected healthcare and how it's affected EMS. I think it's important to take time during this EMS week where, we talk a lot about what we can do. And now I think it's time that we focus on what we should be doing. Right. Where EMS is an essential service. It's very important. We have, underserved and rural communities where it takes 30 minutes, 35 minutes for ambulances to get to them. We have to look at those communities. We have to look at how we can increase those responses and decrease that response rate. What can we do better to be an arm of the hospital, whether that's stroke care or sepsis care or other things that we've talked about on the Overrun plenty of times? Sure. How can we actually take EMS from where it is and launch it into the future? The same platitudes we kind of hear every year, but I think you and I are kind of at a point where, we need to do it though, right? There's only so much talk that we can do. And now it's time to put all those things into action.
Yeah. There's only so many water bottles and lunch bags I can have in my closet before I realize, hey, look, we really got to actually address core issues here. We still have problems nationwide with EMS clinician pay, with clinician working way too many hours than they should. Mental health, burnout, all these things that we have talked about for years, has been going on since the pandemic. And we're not, as much as I love the idea of EMS week, we're not seeing any improvement. Okay. We're not seeing people taking this stuff to heart. It's kind of a pat on the back. Here's your ice cream and your hamburger. And, back to the other 51 weeks where we're going to just do the usual. And I think EMS week needs to change. I've said this before on the Overrun. I've said it before in the blogs. We need to do more. EMS week needs to become a public outreach week. It needs to be somewhere where we educate the public in how we do things, just like they do with National Night Out, Fire Prevention Week. It needs to be a bigger thing. It needs to be more engagement of the community to understand what we actually do. I can tell you from my own experience, 50 years after the TV show, I'm still explaining to people how we're bringing the hospital to them. Like, I still have elderly people go, oh, aren't we driving to the hospital? I'm like, no, the Cadillac broke down and now we're doing all the stuff here and you're going to be much better off for it. I like EMS week. I like the idea. I want to get behind it, but we need to use this as a call to action.
No, and that's absolutely right. So take this, I think we should all take this opportunity during this EMS week, because this is where we're going to meet most of our leadership, right? We're going to get whatever, and hopefully at your system, you get good EMS week gifts, and, but that's not necessarily the reality everywhere. But it's not just about those things. Take the opportunity when you're talking to management this week about how you can improve your system and how we can improve EMS writ large. And one of the ways to do that is to listen to all of our news stories on EMS One and over here at the Overrun. And how is that for a segue? Be sure to check out all of our stuff on EMS One at Overrun Productions, and all of our podcasts and all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
For EMS One news and insider analysis. Happy EMS week again. Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester from the Overrun. We'll talk to you all next time.